Hi, friends. I'm Joe Hopkins, and this is 5 Minutes to Make Sense of the Bible. Today we focus on the Gospel of John, chapter 18, beginning with verse 33 and ending with the first sentence of verse 38. Why only the first sentence of verse 38, you wonder? Let's dive into the content and context of this Bible story, and I'll explain more. So first, a bit about verse numbers in the Bible. A French printer in the 1600s came up with the system of verses in the New Testament that most Bibles use today. Usually, they make sense, but not always. John chapter 18, verse 38 is one of those verse numbers that doesn't make sense to me. When I read that verse, it is clear that Pontius Pilate's question to Jesus, "What is truth?" is the end of a scene. So the next sentence should be a new verse. Except it isn't. Verse 38 continues with Pilate literally leaving the room, going outside, and addressing a bloodthirsty mob. When this sort of thing happens, meaning poor verse numbering, not talking to mobs, Bible scholars and preachers often refer to a first part of a verse with the letter A and to a second part with the letter B. So this week, when somebody reads this story as part of a worship service that I'm leading, I'll ask that reader to stop with verse 38a. But let's talk about the two characters who are dialoguing in verses 33 to 38a. Pontius Pilate was a Roman official appointed by Caesar to keep order in the Roman province of Judea, which included the city of Jerusalem. Jewish sources from the 1st century CE depict Pilate as a nasty, culturally insensitive guy who would occasionally send Roman soldiers to intimidate or kill anyone who might threaten Roman rule. It's no wonder that corrupt Jewish religious leaders handed Jesus over to Pilate for execution, considering Pilate's penchant for crucifying his subjects. So there was Jesus with Pontius Pilate. In the Gospel of John, unlike the other three Gospels, Jesus visits Jerusalem many times throughout his time as a wandering rabbi. Yet it is only this time that Jesus interacts with the Roman governor. John's Gospel especially portrays Pilate as caught between a mob and his supposedly troubled conscience. Yet Pilate's first question to Jesus, "Are you the king of the Jews?" really shows what he's concerned about: eliminating threats to Roman rule. And Jesus doesn't directly answer Pilate's questions despite the threats against him. Jesus speaks of a kingdom that does not belong to this world, provides evidence of this by drawing attention to the inaction of his followers. Jesus cryptically declares that his purpose is to testify to the truth, and that everyone who belongs to the truth listens to him. To which Pilate responds, in verse 38a, "What is truth?" And now let me pose to you some questions for reflection. First, how much do you pay attention to chapter and verse numbers in the Bible? Have you ever noticed some of the weird ways that verses are structured? If this weirdness is new to you, how does it affect your understanding of the Bible? Next, how familiar are you with the character Pontius Pilate? Does he seem like a villain to you, or do you sympathize with him? How might your view of Pilate impact your understanding of the crucifixion of Jesus? Finally, what do you think Jesus means when he says his kingdom doesn't belong to this world? If you are trying to follow Jesus, how might you fit into an otherworldly kingdom? If you are a Christian, how do you engage worldly systems of government? So there, 5 minutes to make sense of the Bible. I am preaching a sermon based on John chapter 18 at Streetsville United Church, so check out our YouTube channel for a recording of our worship services. And as you read the Bible by yourself, pay attention to what piques your curiosity. The Spirit often tries to catch our attention through our curiosity. And as always, while it's good to read the Bible by ourselves, we make the most sense of the Bible when we read the Bible together. Peace, friends.